let's talk about this. So, um, I'm gonna be very frank. So, when it comes to the MCU films, as of late, I have not been watching them. I saw Doctor Strange. I enjoyed that because I'm a Sam Raimi fan, and I felt like there was still some issues with that film because a lot of that film, you could tell some things were cut. It could have been a better film. Um, Having Scarlet Witch OP her powers, like I didn't have a problem with that, but I did have a problem with some of the cut, like the running time of it, because it was quick and I enjoyed it, but I was like, there feels like something missing. Come to find out, there was like maybe an hour of stuff cut out. Like what the fuck? So it is what it is on that. Then we get to Thor, Love and Thunder, or I like to call it Thor, Love and Shitar. That was terrible. That was too much. Like it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in a bad way. I didn't enjoy Volume 2 because I thought the comedy was too much in that one, and I barely remembered that one. I do remember the first one a lot more, but the first one I had more of a positive response to than the second one. But Thor: Love and Thunder, I just did not like it. It actually almost hurt Thor in a way as a character, more so than Dark of the World. How I don't know how you can do that. So we go further, and then it's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Didn't hate it, but didn't love it. Um, the problem was they didn't have Black Panther in the film long enough time, screen time, and I know they were like, "Oh, we got to show how she gets it." But if that's the case, I mean, I was always against her of getting it because I thought it was too fast. I would have had a stunt double and someone voiced the character. Then eventually, she gets the mantle for the next film and have a better story arc for her. But it is what it is. Even that film had issues still. And then we get to Ant Man, Ant Man and the Wasp, and Lord have mercy, has the mighty has fallen. I'm not a fan of Ant Man, but I thought Jonathan Majors before his whole shit happened with him. Um, um, I'm sorry, tell right now. Happened with him. Uh, it was good. But that was the best thing about the whole film was him. Because everything else, I was like, no, not feeling it. But let's get to this trailer. So I'm going everywhere with this. This trailer screams the problem that Marvel's been having for the last few years. But this trailer also screams that Brie Larson is no longer the supposedly the person that's going to lead the Avengers. I don't think that's happening now. After watching this film, her screen presence and her screen time in here is not good. As a matter of fact, it felt weird. Like it felt like she was in here because, oh yeah, we have a movie for you to do. Let's put you in here. If they wanted to get rid of her, they would have just did the Marvels with the two characters and not have her in there. With those rumors coming out that she was upset that the film Captain Marvel 2 was supposed to come out with her, I can see that. I can because the way Captain Marvel sets up, it doesn't set up for her to have a team up film with the Marvels until 3. It sets more up to what she does in the modern day, and I mean, it's Freaky Friday with superheroes, and if the story's good, the writing's good, which I doubt because Marvel writing has been all over the goddamn place, horrifically bad, then it could go somewhere, but it's not going to go nowhere. Marvel has a problem. Marvel has a big problem. The superhero bubble is popping, and this is not good for DC either. This is not good for DC. What it means is fans will only come out for certain characters. So we are back into the age of where only certain amount of comic books, only certain amount of comic book films would do well. So Avenger film will do well, but if they do another Avenger film and it's not as good reception wise, then that's it for Marvel. They can not Marvel because the Avenger films, that's their bread and butter. when it comes to money. If that doesn't do well, I promise you, Captain America, Iron Man will come back. They will do more films with those characters. They'll do an appearance like how Iron Man did with when he was done with his trilogy. They're going to do the same thing they did, because what's going to happen is they will now see that they need those heroes back. When Endgame ended, there was more stories for them to do with those characters, but they decided to move on with those characters, which is fine. They're totally right to do that. And for a story standpoint, it makes sense. But for a financial standpoint, a business standpoint, toys, merchandise, it's a gamble. And for what they gamble with, they gamble Brie Larson, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, and it failed miserably. Nobody cared for her film. Even like before, when the film came out, we heard those rumors that they were it made $1 billion, but we heard rumors that people went to the theater and it was empty, but yet it made $1 billion. There's a lot of those reports coming out where they're like, oh yeah, some people bought the theater out and stuff like that. And from what I know from a person in the source, I know in the industry, they do that. They do that to make it seem better than what it is. But I heard a lot more for Captain Marvel. But Captain Marvel was in the middle of Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War. So it had the benefit of pretty much banking on one of those two. Oh, was it the times? 2019. But yeah, I mean, it is. They need to figure something out, because what I saw in this trailer was more of the MCU crap and more of the bullshit. And what I also saw in this trailer was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And what I mean by that is more of that. And if I get more of that, where I'm not pleased. And now the villain in this film is a female. So you got already 3 fucking females, and you can't make the villain even a male. Literally, you gotta make him make her a female. I'm like, literally race swapping the character too. From what I was reading, I'm like, again. So here we go with this bullshit again. And that's another problem too. Stop race swapping characters. Just make the character what it is. But, but Marvel's in trouble. Marvel, Disney they're in trouble, because if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, the last few Marvel films have not been good. And what I mean by good, they have not been on the level of what the projections have been for the box office. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, was supposed to project to get $1 billion. Or close to that, 900 million. It didn't come close to the first one. Chadwick Boseman wasn't in there, but if you did a great tribute to him, would you go see it? Exactly. So, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Enough said. Enough said. Enough said. So. Yeah. But as always, I'd like to subscribe. Peace out with Johnson. See you guys in the next video.